This is question number 5. We know this question is about confidence interval, and we want to identify if this question is about proportion or the mean. So if you read the part A question, we know is about proportion because it says a percentage. It is the confidence interval of the proportion. So let's get some help from StatCrunch. Let's open the StatCrunch. Okay, because it's proportion, let's click stat. Proportion stats one sample with summary. Okay, here we need to enter the number of successes. So they got orders from 132 people. So the number of successes is 132, and number of observations or the sample size is 1120. Okay, that's 1120. And we're doing the confidence interval, 95% confidence. So 95%, we don't have to change. And we click compute, so that's going to be the lower limit and upper limit. So we put those numbers there. And we have to be careful because they already gave us the percentage. So let's translate this number to the percentage format. Okay, so let's be careful about what numbers you want to put there. Okay, so that's confidence, the lower limit and upper limit. And the B, explain the confidence interval. We know the confidence interval has to have three things. One is the confidence level, 95%, and also you need to mention the population parameter, which is the percentage of people who will respond to the flyers. And the third one is you have to mention the confidence interval bounds or the limits. So it mentions the bounds, which are those two you calculated. And 95% confident, what does this mean? That means 95% of all the random samples with the same sample size, which is 1120, will produce an interval, so this interval, okay, that contains the true proportion. Okay. And D, the company must decide whether to do a mass mailing. The mailing will not be cost effective unless it produces at least 6% return. So let's compare this 6% return with our confidence interval. So this 6% is lower than the lower limit of our confidence interval. Okay? We know our confidence interval will capture the true proportion. So the true proportion would be higher than 6%. That means it would be cost effective to do this math mailing. So we will select A. Okay, so this is question number 5. Let's go to number 6. So number 6 is about the sampling distribution. We know the sampling distribution of the mean, so we need to know this is about mean because we talk about the average, we talk about standard deviation, we know it's about mean, and the sampling distribution of the mean is a normal distribution. And the mean of this normal distribution is just the population mean. So what is the population mean? The population mean is 210. And what about the sample? What about standard deviation? So we have to do some calculation. The standard deviation is equal to the sample standard deviation, which is 35, or the square root of the sample size. What is sample size? Here, 45. Okay. Then the standard deviation of the sampling distribution is 5.22. Okay. What if we change the sample size to 110 and the shape of the distribution is not changing, is still normal distribution. And part B, the mean of the sampling distribution is still the population mean, which is 210. It's not going to change because it does not depend on the sample size, but something depends on the sample size. So that is the standard deviation. So this is the formulation of the standard deviation. It has a sample size there. So let's change the sample size from 45 to 110. Okay. And we get the new standard deviation.